You're listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
From the Afterbuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream. This is Afterbuzz TV for How to Make It in America. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest How to Make It in America news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off and the buzz continues, it's AfterBuzz TV for How to Make It in America.
Say yeah. Sorry, I'm just in the best mood in the world. I need a dollar. You know the song Aloe Black starts off the show. Welcome everybody to the AfterBuzz. Oh, it sounds so good.
Doesn't it though?
I love this. I love this. Ladies and gentlemen, you are coming into our world, the AfterBuzzTV.com website. We are going to do the podcast, the Ustream, of what I call one of the most motivating shows out there. It is How to Make It in America. This is our first episode ever, ladies and gentlemen, so feel good about that. My name is Ronnie Jr., and let's go down the line. We have my spicy co-host,
Spicy Mari, in the building.
and her name is Spicy Mari, so we'll find out how spicy she is indeed.
Pretty
we
hot.
have our social media guru. We'll call you the guru. This is
I like that.
Jesse F. Daniels.
Yes, full name Jesse F. Daniels.
All right.
Welcome everybody.
2 first names, and myself, Maricela, and Jesse. Every single week, we're gonna dissect the show, How to Make It in America. One of the most exciting, motivating, all that good
Pick
stuff.
it apart.
But we're also going to make this really cool because How to Make It in America represents the next step. It represents trying to, get your hustle on, right?
Right.
So every single week, we're going to be joined by guests. So today, we have a fashionista of some sort. She has her own
Welcome.
scarf line. Yeah, tell us about your scarf line. It is...
I'm wearing it.
What's the website?
It's shoptodiefor.com.
Okay.
To die for, D-Y-E, like dye. They're hand-dyed scarves.
Oh.
So you are going to be our...
Nice.
Because
I like that.
the show, How to Make It in America, has a clothing line aspect. So
Yes,
good, we're
it
glad you're
does.
here. We have a longtime friend of mine. This is Kelly O. Kelly O has done publicity for many, many years, and she is now doing publicity for some guy we all know that's over 80 years old. He has a mansion.
be?
Kelly, tell us a little bit
Naked
about
women running around.
your publicity job.
Oh, I just, do publicity for this little place called the Playboy Mansion.
Okay.
I think I've heard of that. I think I've heard of it.
Place. You might have heard of it. We got some crazy things going on.
Good. We want to know all about that. And How to Make It in America is one of those shows that not everybody has jumped on right away. And Kelly and I are legitimately big fans. We have not missed really an episode.
No, I love the show. I love what it's all about. I'm excited about it to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me a lot of my friends and, us. We've known each other
Yes.
for years since
Yes.
I moved to LA. So watching all of us, and that's what I like about it. I like to see the hustle and bustle and how,
Right.
the friends help each other and all of that. So.
And whether you're in LA, whether you're in New York, like the setting of the show, you could be in Boise, Idaho. It really doesn't matter. People are trying to get their dream. It could be cleaners. I'm going to get my own cleaners in the
Right.
corner store. And it's about making it. So for me, I connect to this show. I'm very passionate about it. So let's get started. Spicy Mari is joining us today. You are a new How to Make It in America.
I am. You guys are trying to convert me. I have been trying to catch up on the series, and so far, so good. I
Okay.
understand why you guys love it.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to get to that place where,
Yeah.
if I miss an episode, I'll just die.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's getting, this last episode got me.
Okay,
I was
good,
kind
good.
of feeling it. It was good.
Let's get into this episode, which was episode number 3 on season 2. Jesse, the name of the show?
Money Power Private School.
Okay, Money Power Private Schools. We'll get to that in one second, but I just wanted to let all the How to Make It in America fans know, or actually the new ones who are kind of getting involved in this season 2 and who are like, what happened in season 1?
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
Okay,
but
so basically, I'll try to wrap it up real quick. 2 New York City best friends, they are establishing their clothing line. So basically, what we need to do, they're establishing their clothing line. It's the hustle and bustle, New York City, and we land up in season 2 where they actually have a little bit of success. Mari, you had an interesting kind of thought process on the success, right? What was that? You don't want it to come too easy on this show.
I kind of feel like the most interesting stories are the ones where they're grinding out. You don't always win. There's got to be some loss. And I kind of feel like so far the writers of the show are making it not hard for the boys, but they're making it come a little easier than I would like. I mean, every single situation they're in, it gets worked out. It's kind of nice that way.
Yeah.
But I feel like there should be some serious losses. I want,
Okay.
I want them to turn up the heat a little bit.
Which is what we kind of saw in season 1. We kind of saw that in season 1. Anyways, let's flash forward. We're in season 2. This one is, what do you call it? Money, Power,
Money, Power,
and
Private School.
Private schools.
Yes.
We open up with a very interesting, fun, for the aesthetic, the Wilfredo Gomez skateboard scene. What did you guys think
Wilfredo,
about that
shout out to
scene?
him.
Is this like a romance?
Sorry.
I've got to tell him.
There's a
I've got
secret
to
crush
tell him.
going on. There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to pass the word to him.
I will.
See, PR people know everybody in this town.
I mean, he
Yeah.
looks cute on the show.
Okay.
I would give him maybe like a 7 on the show. They're trying to, rough him up a little bit because
Right.
he's a skateboarder. But if you watch the behind the scene clips of him,
Which you did. Okay, so that's giving you another
Gorgeous.
reason to plug
Spicy
in.
Maddie's getting spicy
yeah,
already.
can you
She's
say-
converted.
So we open up the show with that. We move on to Brian Greenberg is the actor. His character is Ben. He's talking with Julia about this potential situation he has with Nancy at Barney's. She doesn't seem to be into it, is what I'm seeing. What did you guys think? She didn't care about his dream.
They're setting it up for, I think, a romantic interest. They're going to turn her into a love interest.
Yeah.
The way that she's looking at him,
Yeah.
she's looking at him like a little cougar.
Yeah.
She is tearing him up.
Spicy Mari, I'm sure you've been in all these great relationships or whatnot.
Oh.
What do you think about?
As I'm single right now.
Hey, well,
But I have had pretty good ones. Pretty
yeah,
hot
well,
ones.
let's talk about this. How about the girl, Julia, not supporting Ben? I mean, it didn't look like she gave a damn about what he wanted to do, and that's like the biggest thing in his life right now,
That's true. I kind of feel like the female that you're dating needs to be your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
And so when a man has any self-doubt and you just affirm that, it's not going to work out.
Yeah.
Because you're only making him feel worse. You're supposed to motivate him. You're supposed to be his right hand, encourage him.
Right. Jesse,
well, let me pose this.
yeah, why don't you
It's like
speak
funny
on
because the girls are on this side and the guys are on that side, so it's on.
Jesse may be that cat that's in
No,
a situation
as
like
a
that.
guy that's in a relationship and trying to make it in America,
Right.
you gotta have that woman that's just backing you, and
Exactly.
you can't have the questions of like, well, why are you gonna do this for free? Why are you gonna do that? With the school thing.
Oh, we'll get to that,
And
yeah.
then, but anyways, flashing to the other side of the table, as a woman, do you need that man to back you as well, or is it
Oh.
like I can be independent, blah blah blah?
No, you need emotional support, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you can't, when you're a successful girl and, your man maybe is not all the way there yet, it gets a little bit difficult because sometimes it's hard to be proud of what you're doing because you don't want to hurt their feelings or make them feel bad.
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship, you really can't have that. You should be there to support each other and be happy for one another. And I didn't see that with the two of them in this
Yeah.
one.
Or
It does-
also, let's say you do make it, it's like, why build all that and be so successful if you don't have anyone to share it with?
Right.
Yeah.
So you really need that person to share it with.
Well, and it's a challenge for them because we don't really know about what she does. I know in season
Yeah,
one, she worked at a clothing store. That's all we really know about her, and
Yeah.
she put it down in the bedroom.
It's
That
kind
was
of.
those were.
I'm going to interrupt
Yeah.
really
What
quick.
more
I'm
did
going to
you
interrupt Ronnie because I'm glad you said that because I haven't watched
The
the,
bedroom
previous
part?
show. No. But she worked at a clothing store.
Yes, she
'Cause
did.
What I got is totally different from what you guys are talking about. When I first saw it, because I haven't seen the previous shows, I don't think she wasn't interested. I was almost thinking like. I almost felt, which is so funny you said that, like she kind of knows the industry and was more like, okay, you're going to get into Barney's, and was like, that doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's like, I'm happy for you, but it was almost like she said it like,
But that
she
is
wasn't interested
unmotivating.
because it was almost like, she not unmotivated, but she was just like, okay, because you don't want to get that person's hopes up if you know the industry and you,
You
know
think
how
that's where
tough
she
it
was
is.
going?
No.
But
To
you
me,
need to be
that's
a dreamer just like the other person. That's how
It's
you're
a
going to
gr-
encourage them. You
exactly.
have to believe in their dream. If you have any self-doubt
But-
about yourself and them, that's going to
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
the relationship.
but like at the same time, you could be there, a support, but be realistic.
Well-
be like, I hope you really get in. But I really think that even if she was supportive, he still didn't want to be with her.
Yeah.
'Cause
Ultimately.
I think it
Well,
was, even
I
if
think
she would be
you-
supportive, I don't think
you
he
were
wanted
talking
to
about
be with
you were
her.
talking about the word realist. I think
Right.
a realist is like the enemy of the creative arts.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Because what is
definitely.
being realistic? The entertainment industry is unrealistic.
Yeah.
You want to go after the most challenging career in the world, let alone being a fashion designer. That's something that's extremely competitive
Yeah.
and hard. It's just like becoming an A-list actor.
There's nothing more motivational than someone not believing in you, though, because then it's like, all right,
Well, you could choose.
you know,
Some people will eat that up and they'll
Yeah.
go into a cave, and then others are like, okay, you're not with it. I'm going to move on and
Yeah,
do
I
better.
just feel
we don't
like-
know what's going to happen with Ben. I feel like he's going to move on and do better.
Yeah.
So-
And you got to think too, everybody has their own way of making it in. Like just because you're familiar with something, like, you know, the way that I got into PR was a different way than most people do. So him being a fashion designer and she like knowing the industry, just because it works one way that she saw doesn't necessarily mean
Right.
it's not going to work his way. So being negative from the
Yeah.
you know, from the start isn't a good thing for a relationship.
Muddy, question to you. Have you ever had, I mean, we're going to bare our soul here, I guess. I mean, have you had that situation? First of all, maybe friends or whatever, or maybe even your family, you know, oh, they want to see you maybe settle down, but you're kind of chasing your dream. Have you ever had that conflict within yourself?
I have. I mean, I go back and forth every day. Do I want to pursue this? Do I not? So it's a
Well,
constant.
for the 6 weeks you're locked in with us.
No, it's a constant struggle, but I need that support system. And one thing that my family is great about is just letting me know that they believe in me. Anything that I do, they're tuning in, they're supporting, they're sending tweets and blasts. But
They're watching right now. All right,
yeah,
family.
they're watching right now.
What's up, family? No.
But I have had friends that it's a little bit of haterism.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, you're supposed to be my friend, and they're like, well, do you really want to pursue this? You know, are you sure?
Yes.
It's not really realistic. And
when I was
can't
talking to
keep you
you,
around.
when I was talking to you about why I thought the show was so good, it was for that whole, you know, situation, because I don't know how many people.
No, that's extremely relatable.
When Kelly and I started working in radio, this was over about 10 years ago now. I mean, there was like, this is the way I describe it. There was maybe 300 of us, you know, there wasn't that many people in the office, but still, for the most part, there was 300 eager, young, fresh, you know, oh, we're going to make it. We all going to make it. And as the years go by, you start to see, you start looking to the right and to the left. And every year you're like, you're like, am I here by myself?
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, anyone who is trying for something is going to connect to this show, and I'm into it. Real quick, let's go. This wasn't really much to the show, but it's kind of foreshadowing what's going to happen next, maybe episode. Cam and Domingo are talking about the hustle. They're talking about, you know, they're going to transport the weed, and now Cam wants to get in on it. Why does Cam want to get in on it? It's pretty, you know,
Easy
out
money,
there,
right?
Easy money.
if anybody knows anything about the entertainment industry or just any business in general, you can't just do that one thing. Like, you have to put
Yes.
your heart and soul into it, but you got to kind of have something on the sideline that's, you know, helping bring some income in that's
Right.
going to be your bread and butter in the meantime.
You got to pay the rent.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
Yeah,
about if
gotta pay the
how
bills.
about if it is something that's, you know, crossing the line of
Hey, I mean,
that,
you
that's
know,
what the show's about.
I
That's-
thought about stripping a couple times, prostitution. I'm just playing.
Jesse in the booth. Jesse in the booth. Now we know why she's spicy Muddy. Okay.
I mean, you know, you start thinking of random ideas.
Yes. We just got an exclusive there.
You got to do what you got to do.
You know, it is so tough. We move forward. We have Julia. She's talking about another guy who's interested in her. So out of the blue, they have this awkward conversation on the podium, you know, when they're about to hit the subway. And they don't actually go together after. So maybe they just, one of them walked one of them up
That
there.
was so random.
Or that was the breakup, whatever.
No, she like asked him to not to come in.
Okay, so they were.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah, he
they
was
were
gonna follow her.
that.
She stopped
She
him.
stopped him.
She stopped
But
him.
what she was
Stopped him.
doing by
Yeah.
bringing up the other guy was she was kind of challenging him.
Yeah.
Like saying, step up or else I'm going to take this offer.
Which I don't like.
Oh, and
she
then
was-
when the
She was
stranger.
giving him an ultimatum
What do
without
you
giving him an
ladies
ultimatum.
what do you ladies think of that?
I don't like that. I think you know, sometimes girls make the mistake of doing that. And I just don't, you know, either you're in or you're out, and it's just that's what you should say.
That was the name
It's
of
like,
episode number 2,
you know,
by the way. Just
yeah, it's, you know, it's just kind of one of those things that you don't necessarily have to do all make it so dramatic. Like if
Yeah.
you know, if have a real conversation, be open and honest with just hey,
Yeah.
especially with your partner. If you can't do that, then your relationship isn't really anything.
And
anyway.
we all know that she's not in there for the long term. Even on season 1, for me and Kelly, who really
Yeah.
die hard, watch season 1, she kind of just came out of nowhere, really.
Well, yeah, I think
And-
she just wanted to hook up. You know, she hooked him up with the T-shirt thing and the
Mm-hmm.
buyer and all that for them to get the deal on the shirts, and then it was more so have like a party pal. It wasn't
Yeah.
necessarily. I didn't even think it was when I saw her back in episode, you know, in season 2.
Which
I
was a
didn't,
shock to everybody.
Yeah, I didn't think that she was still
Yeah.
going to be around.
Yeah.
So there was no depth to them? What made them stay together? Why were they
what
together?
happened was, you know, he was on his own, and he kind of was into Rachel still, and you know, she kind of wasn't. She was dating Darren at the time.
Yeah.
So he was there. her, but Rachel wasn't responding. So all of a sudden this girl comes out of nowhere, and she does two things. Not only does she make it happen in the bedroom, a whole other show, but she also made it happen with a connection because they needed to get the t-shirt manufacturer.
They needed a better
So
price.
wait, so doesn't that show she's supportive? She's the one that helped him in the first place.
It's all been very airheadish.
I'm so
of her,
confused.
though. That's the thing. It has.
I'm like, isn't that her
what
being
you're talking about?
She was flexing her power, though, not necessarily.
That was it.
I think she was just trying to show kind of like show off a little bit
Here's
more
a
so
favor
than
I'll do
like
this for you.
more so than being supportive. And I think now that something actually came of it, I think maybe even she was a little jealous maybe that his attention was going somewhere else.
Or do you think maybe she felt used, like he just used me for that?
Well,
he just doesn't really care
she
about
seemed
me.
real in episode 2 last week.
Yeah.
She seemed very interested in being the arm candy of that guy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm gonna dissect her character as. She was a girl that just really didn't have her own dreams. She found this guy. Yeah, she was able to kind of make something happen for him, but now she's just really into like being the girl on the shoulder kind of a thing, on the arm. And she doesn't want him to kind of go do his thing either. So
Yeah.
I don't like her, but she's hot though. So there's that.
Super cute and all of that. But
And no one knew if she was going to come back for season 2 unless you like went on IMDb. And in season 2, as Kelly and I saw, we knew that there was some girl riding him, but and we didn't know it was her. And it was just really funny. Okay, funny? Maybe it wasn't the word I should have used. Okay, moving on. We have the boys get together and talk about. Okay, Ben is talking with his friends about Julia. What do you guys think about that scene right there? It was just all of them talking kind of about.
I feel like that's realistic.
Yeah. Did you like the setting? Was it a little like it was like a coffee shop or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that realism though.
Well, I think in season 1 they did a lot of bars, so maybe they were just trying to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, they were definitely doing the Sex in the City.
Yeah.
It did have a
Yeah.
Sex and the City.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
There's actually
What's going on with you?
Exactly.
well,
Would you
there's-
guys sit in a coffee shop and talk about girls at a coffee shop?
well, Jesse's one of my best friends, so I think we're gonna, just get that information wherever. It really
Right.
doesn't matter. And I thought the scene was a little authentic. You're right. It was cool. Nothing much to it, but it was cool. And it kind of set up, the fact that he was insecure about it. He's like, I don't know, it's not really happening.
I feel like he's a little lost too. As far I don't feel like he's.
in control.
I don't feel like as far as relationships is concerned. I feel like anybody who's dating him needs to be careful.
Yeah.
Because when you have a dream, when you have a focus,
Well, his
as far
mind
as
is
your
on
career
something, yeah.
is concerned, you're gonna come secondary.
Yeah.
Well, and I think he kind of alluded to that when he said, he only goes after unavailable girls because then there's nothing he has to
That's
do.
have to invest.
There's nothing he
Yeah.
has to do. He doesn't have to do
doesn't have to
anything
invest
because they're not
anything.
really there anyway.
Yeah.
So
You're so good. You picked up on that. Okay.
Yeah.
Being around that mansion, you learn everything about relationships and all the sexiness that goes on. Moving on, we have so Wilfredo Gomez is turning a leaf because he was in season 1 just strung out and just a mess.
Crazy.
And now he's talking about I got something to live for. And I think you probably like him, and then the actor sense he really got into it. So that was cool.
I believe him. I
Yeah.
believe him as an actor,
Yeah.
because he doesn't have very much acting experience since
Right.
he did the movie Kids,
Okay.
which was a pretty big movie,
Yeah.
when we were younger. And so if that's the only film experience that he has,
Yeah.
he's doing a great job. I believe him.
And it's good that like actors get into roles that fit them.
Wait,
so
right.
Exactly.
Kids, and then now this.
Wilfredo Gomez, he's the one on the skateboard?
He's
Yeah, he's a skateboarder.
Well, actually, Kelly in the publicity world knows a lot of people. You know Wilfredo to some degree.
He actually came and did like a skating video for Playboy. We had this licensing thing, so he came and did his little skate thing around the mansion. And I was like, dude, if you break something, please don't break a bone. He's
Yeah.
crazy stunts and all
Yeah.
these things, but he's really down to earth, just like a really cool guy.
Right.
And I had already been a fan of the show, so when he told me, I was just like, oh my, like all crazy. I was like, I love the show, whatever.
Yeah.
And he told me that he was going to be featured a little bit more this season, and I'm really happy to see that because it's fun to watch him because his character is so crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the one
And
that
it's funny.
They're making him really
turned
silly.
the
The fire.
shirt
Yeah,
off.
he's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is he like a mover and a shaker? He's doing a lot of different things.
He
Or
is.
what-
I think,
in Los Angeles, does he own a shop or
No, he's sponsored by this company that that you're asking me about. I can't think of what the
okay.
name of it is. It's terrible. But so he goes to this shop and they have like
Yeah.
a ramp and skates in there. And,
Yeah.
I went by and like checked it out because it's the company that actually licensed out our product
Right.
and did like a special thing. So.
And the show's so cool because it does like that's real life. That's pretty much real life.
Yeah.
And then they put it in this show right here. How to
yeah,
Make It in
and
America.
that's him skating because he's a real like professional skater. So it's cool to see
Brian
that.
Greenberg and Victor Razzouk, the two leads, and Julian Farino, they did like a meet and greet or whatnot of the first 2 episodes in New York City. It's a podcast that I'm a huge fan, so I'll like find any anything on the
Yeah.
show.
Googling them all day.
And Brian Greenberg said it best. He plays Ben on the show. He said our show's so different that it's like a walk talking version of a blog. And if you think about it, this show, and that's why when I'm telling everybody the show's so great, they're like, what's it about? Is it Entourage? I'm like, it's not Entourage, but it is like a blog of like music, fashion, the Lower East Side.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you always tell me, Ronnie's like fanatic,
Yeah.
100%. He's like, Vanessa, you have to watch it. It's like the next Entourage.
I told Jesse that
It's the
too.
next
It's definitely
Entourage.
the Entourage.
I'm like,
film.
No,
It always has
I'm
one.
like, we're gonna do this show, and we're gonna end up getting Victor Razuk and Brian Greenberg in here. I mean,
How about the fact that all these Hispanics are on HBO for the first time?
So cool.
I think that's
They're
great.
not
I think
doing the
it's great.
Cholo thing. I mean, there's actually representation for the East Coast, and and they're hot too. They're talented. I mean, I'm just proud.
Let's talk about Cam's role. Cam's got a really great role.
Oh, lead actor?
I want you to see season 1. This role, he has a little insecurities because obviously with Lulu,
Right.
He's trying to get at her, and
Which I think a lot of guys experience from time to time.
Because she's like on this page, and he's like still living at his grandma's. You
Right.
you didn't see that from season 1, but he is living at his
got that.
grandmother's, and so he's doing like a role that's kind of fit to showcase you can do it, like move on to the next level.
I feel like everybody is a prime example of being in transition, especially at our age group.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all trying to kind of, get our bearings and finally make it to our career. And so when you have two people who are dating that are in the same place, that creates a crazy dynamic. But then when you have somebody who is successable, that makes it even more hard. Because she has her own shop. Lulu is already doing her thing.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, cool. Where do we go from there, Jess?
Debbie comes
okay. This is Debbie. She is proud of Rene, who's played by Louis Guzman. So she's kind of getting into it. She didn't like him on episode 1 because they showed the booty picture.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. They show in the previews that I guess like they're gonna get together and kind of be a relationship, which is
they're gonna be
different,
serious, okay.
which is different for him. So I don't know where the storyline is really going with that as much, and I don't know if it's interesting. Although we got introduced to her daughter today.
Oh, that's the first time the
That was
daughter came on?
interesting.
Great appearance for the first time.
What was your thought on the daughter? And
I mean, she was supposed to be a schoolgirl and be this goody two shoes, protective of her mom, but then she's a hot girl too.
Yeah.
So we see why her mom's walking around in the booty shorts.
yeah.
We know where she got it from.
Yeah.
I think she's just a vehicle to bring them closer together.
Which one?
Because the daughter, Renee,
really?
and the
Yeah,
mom.
Renee's gonna start
I think
manipulating
that
the situation
just-
because now he
Yeah.
has a little bit of power.
you see
Yeah.
that he has that
So,
power
yeah, I
over the
saw that
daughter.
too.
Yeah, they're gonna come
Yeah.
together really.
You're
easy.
right.
And
Yeah,
she's
you're right.
gonna be all enamored with the way that how do you get her
Oh,
to
yeah,
respond
easy.
to you
Yeah.
that way?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know that he's got some dirt.
I liked how the daughter called the mom. She was 32 years old or whatever, and she goes, "You're too thirsty, wearing those kind of pants," which is such a funny comment. It's funny because. Well, I'm not going to name a name, but there are people that are just too hungry. We know that. So, and this is the kind of the slogan I'm starting to come up with in my head. It's okay to be hungry, and I'm hungry. We all want something to better ourselves, better our lives, but don't be thirsty. I
Right.
mean, and I just love.
There's a difference.
I came up with that on my own.
Apparently.
There is a difference.
How to make it in America? Writers should really
Sip,
come to
slip,
me.
slow.
No, but that's true. Because everyone wants. We got to be hungry if you want to make this. Because you got to take I don't want to use the word haters, but you got to take the non-believers.
So define hunger versus thirst. What's the
Yeah,
difference?
because
For
what
those
about
people who
Dos
don't
Equis?
know.
Stay thirsty, my friend.
I'll define hunger when it comes, and I would love the Ustreamers and the iTuners, to kind of talk with us about this. This is what it's about. This show's for us, but it's also for you and the How to Make It in America, Facebook page and all that. But no, my point is we're going to be hungry, and that's okay. And being hungry, and we'll get to that when Cam makes a point about we don't want to do something for free, and Jesse and I are going to go off on that because it's just a lot there. But hungry is saying I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to ask questions. Mari's hungry. We had
starved.
we had scheduled to meet at a certain time, and if there was a conflict in time, Mari was like, "It's cool. I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna get this done." She didn't care. So that's a hungry person. A thirsty person is just, I don't know, just doing the wrong things and wanting the easy way out. In season 1, episode 2, when he goes and talks to the teacher. He goes, "Wow, Ben, you're back, 2 minutes, and you already want the keys to the castle."
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah.
being thirsty is. You guys, I watched this show because there's it's like I could literally write notes and be like, "Oh, Ronnie, don't do that. That's too much. Ronnie, back up." So that's kind of why I think people who do love the show love it, and people will start following. So hopefully we get
Almost like a guideline for your life.
Huh?
Are you using this like a guideline?
Maybe.
Not really, but definitely motivation. Definitely motivation. Yeah, I'll go hike Runyon Canyon. I'll sit on the top of the hill. I'm like, all right, they killing it on that show. I'm gonna kill it in LA. I need like a reality camera to follow me. And I'm doing my own How to Make It in America. Okay, too much. We talk about Nancy wants Ben and Cam to design the high school T-shirt.
Yeah.
Could not be the scene that I'm watching the show and I'm taking notes and whatnot. Usually I watch the show and it's just chilling, but it's AfterBuzz, so we gotta we're gonna talk about it. When Cam, who usually I like, season 1, he was my favorite character. All the things he said were great. But then he goes and tells Ben, what did he say, Jesse? I know you were plugged into that. He goes and says, we shouldn't do a free shirt.
I shouldn't do this.
He doesn't want. He didn't want. Nancy did not take him seriously as a
Ladies and
businessman.
gentlemen, so here's what it is. They got an opportunity. Listen to me, an opportunity. Nancy, I can't remember her entire last name, played by Gina Gershon, which still looks good at this age.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
Her role in the show is she's a buyer who can get their clothes into Barney's, which is their dream at this point. They'll do bigger things after that, I'm sure. She has developed a little relationship with them. Not big, but just a little friendship, which may be a relationship in episode 4. We'll get to that at the end. But right now, we notice that she just wants to work with them on any level. And Cam decides to tell Ben, I don't think we should do it if we're not getting paid. It's going to make us not look like businessmen or whatever. I'm going to duck out.
The guy who's desperate selling weed.
Your guys' thoughts?
I wrote this down. He asked,
at this point.
he asked
Get it,
is
Jess.
this going to make us look like real businessmen? And it almost hurt at that point to think like real businessmen? Like, man, that's a shot at your
The fact that
integrity
you're calling
right there.
yourself a businessman. Though.
Yeah. But
It's like people say I'm classy.
But that just shows.
I've never said I'm classy.
That just goes
And
to
I'm
show
not.
that how much he doesn't know.
Yeah.
That and you got to remember
naivety.
too, like he's trying to impress this girl, by getting this apartment, doing all these things. So
Yeah.
in his head, he's not. He's doing the same thing. He wants to go from A to D without having to do B and C.
the
And
keys
it's
to the
like
castle.
you can't do that. And that's what I think this opportunity showed them is that you still have to do the stuff in the middle.
So how did we get from A to B for them to actually do it? Was it Ben that convinced Cam, or was it Cam that convinced Ben?
It was Ben.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
you see
great.
the light goes off in Ben's eye.
Right.
He's like,
And
we
then
got to
an
do this.
Opportunity.
And then
I'm
it
gonna
switched.
take it.
Yeah, and then
Well,
and then it
well, you know
switched.
what's funny
Yeah.
is all through season 1 there was a lot of Ben negative, and then Cam was the one who. So I think that's the dynamic when you have like great, your team or your relationship workers or whatnot.
And also the show probably doesn't want to be, they don't want to be predictable. You
Yeah.
thought he was going to be all for it, so
Couldn't believe it, yeah.
has to be
Yeah.
unpredictable.
I was
at
like
some
pissed. I
point.
looked at Jesse. I'm
And-
like, oh,
and that's
He's
why.
got
Jesse,
money.
you-
He has to pay that rent.
Yeah,
Trying to impress Lulu.
He's thinking
Yeah.
about other
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But I did like the fact that he did turn it around, and when Ben was like, "Forget it," he came back and he's like, "Think
I
about it
appreciate
again."
that.
Did you really give it your all? Think about it.
Yeah, I think that was the
and
best
he
scene.
changed,
That
and I
was
did
real
like
friendship.
Yeah.
He challenged
Yeah,
him.
he
He said, "You really half-assed this."
right, pretty
Well,
much. Yeah, he called him out and said, "Okay, let's try this
Like, I'll
again."
call Ronnie out. Like, dude, those shoes, come on.
Yeah,
I dress very bad. I don't have tons of money, so if Chris wants to hook me up, if that
Chris.
becomes a real thing, any clothing line for that matter, I'll put a big old smiley face on and I will tweet you out like crazy. Anyway.
No, but I mean, as a relationship with these guys, Ben and Cam, you kind of have to be real to each other once in a while. I
You
think
do.
that's the breaking the mold of like
Yeah.
what you were expecting.
There's times
Yeah.
where, Jesse and I will collaborate on a lot of projects. Vanessa and I collaborate on a lot of projects. And we got to just almost tell them almost like, don't even answer, but I'm going to tell you how you got to do it. Because sometimes you get cloudy and sometimes, again, he was thinking for Lulu, which I'm
Yeah.
kind of interested to see. Do you guys want to see the Lulu Cam thing? I do.
I do. Is it the guys?
Wait, so Lulu Cam?
Because Lulu's, is it because she's banging or I don't know? Somebody said she had wide eyes, like a big. She has somebody said she
She's
has.
cute. She's different.
Yeah.
I want to
She's
see him
interesting.
grow up a little bit in that way. That's what I'm excited to see.
And that's
is
what-
I want to see how far he'll go, and I want to see how serious he'll take it, and how much it'll be really about her, or if he'll turn it and it'll become more about him being a grown
Now
up.
she sounds like my girlfriend. I want to see you grow up.
I want to see.
Relationship
Yeah,
development.
especially
Kelly knows all.
because he wants to be such a businessman, and he thinks he already is. Which
Yeah.
so you got to put
Oh,
those
so
two
you want to
things
be a
together.
businessman, but you
Yeah,
can't do the free
exactly.
thing, but
You
you gotta
still
do
want
the
to
free
live with your
thing.
grandma. You want to, you
Yeah.
have to, and that's what I think one of the great things about watching them do this is that you get to see that. Your mind's going to go here, your mind's going to go there, but you have to find a way to bring it together because those are important things that are going to carry over into your business life.
Right.
Especially being a creative business.
Yeah. Exactly.
it's really, it's really hard.
We move forward and we go Lulu and Rachel talking about Ben being single, and Rachel could not be more happy, right? I mean, this is a little quick scene, a little conversation.
Was on it. Now, the example of her buying the Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, what was the
from?
Yes.
She brought that from London or Paris.
Paris.
Okay, now that's thirsty.
Yeah,
spent $1,200 on a guy that makes you make his stomach hurt.
And she told, he said in the show, he said, we had that thing where the feelings were, and she was like into it. She was thinking it was going to be something good. My stomach hurt. Like, so she knew it was over, and she was really
the day
crushed.
Of, though, you wait 3 hours. She waited 3 hours to get
Yeah, it was
that.
the same day. It was the same day.
Yes.
But they had already planned it out, though. They were already planned to meet for coffee before she knew they were broken up.
And Louis grows on trees in France.
Gifts. Yeah. You come bearing gifts at our first reunion.
So
on your first reunion.
And her comment about, you guys broke up. That was the best.
Yeah, like she didn't know. She did. That was funny.
She read his Facebook status and was like, I am in there. Mm-hmm. She did that.
And that's things that girls do. We never act like we know anything. No, really, I'm so sorry.
She played it off all right, I guess.
It was funny.
We're gonna move forward. I want to talk about Lake Bell being naked, but that's coming later, which I had no idea. Rachel and Ben met. It was awkward. Okay, cool. We talked about that. Cam's talking with Lulu, and that was Lulu's father, right? Which is the actor from La Bamba.
Joe Pantoliano.
Pantoliano. Yeah.
Love him. He's great.
What'd you get?
He's really
that
good.
was Kelly. Was that the first time we met him on this show?
That's the first. Yeah, that's the first time he's been on.
Because we know Lulu a little, and
So that was Lulu's.
I think I like her more because of her dad.
Really?
Yeah,
her dad's
I
cool.
really like her because of her dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Her dad's super cool.
He
Very
makes her
cool.
more interesting.
It's weird because
Yeah.
I don't look at her and think she's like the strong family dynamic. She doesn't seem like when Cam was trying to get with her originally, she's like, he was going to take her out or whatever. She's like, I've been burnt out since clubbing when I was like 14. Like she's no offense to those girls, but she's one of those girls. You just would have never thought she had a tight bond with her dad, but she did.
That was nice
But those
to see.
girls, those girls are the good ones. The ones that have been burned out since they've been clubbing since they were
they
young.
got it out their system.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
done.
can relate.
She's like, hey, I'm better now.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it.
They got it out of their system.
I'm learning. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Put
Those
that
are the good ones,
Put that in the
actually.
notes.
Unless you want a girl that keeps partying.
No.
That's
true.
Vanessa's
That's
always
so
on
true.
this.
I'm
from Miami.
Yeah.
I know about the girls
Rene's
party from their
girlfriend.
14.
The Miami girl
I'm
knows.
from Miami.
What did you guys think about that scene? That just continues to show that Cam's getting awkward. He continues to get uncomfortable.
He's losing his swag.
He is, and you didn't
Going
even
out
see.
and buying a stove.
He just seems like he's feeling more vulnerable.
And if you're saying that,
But
Molly,
Isn't that
What?
maturing? Isn't that what you guys wanted?
It
You wanted to
is.
see him grow
Oh,
up.
here we go.
Come on now. I'm
It's
getting
not
mixed
mature.
signals
That's
here.
actually very immature that he goes out and buys a stove, because what is she giving you to make you feel like it's okay for you to be vulnerable? She's not giving him nothing.
But he's into
But
it.
I think I don't know. I think it's more like he was taking in the advice of what her dad was telling him, because you got to think about his family life too and what's going on at his house. He doesn't have that.
Yeah.
Like he's
Right.
got like
Doesn't
he
have
grew
much.
up.
Like the stove is gonna
Like
be
you're
his
selling
thing.
But no, but
I
like
didn't-
the
wait,
male
I
figure.
didn't
Yeah.
think about that.
But the male figure to kind of guide him in any way to
But she
impress
has a point.
anybody.
You're right.
True.
We
know?
of Cam's character, we've seen his grandmother and we've seen crazy Rene.
Yeah.
We and in one scene, Rene says, I can't take care of Cam." The grandma wants.
Yeah.
And she says, "He has not had a very good life." Like
Yeah.
she was like she was so cute and everything.
That was a good impression.
Yeah. It was not the best impression, but so like he evidently we don't know where his parents are. We don't know if he has brothers and sisters.
We don't really know. I mean, I
So,
think we saw a couple
I-
cousins or
That's what I was
something.
gonna
Is it a
say.
violin? Is it a sad
I'm
violin?
just playing it just because, like, that would be like nice and sweet if he bought the stove because his new father figure told him like that's the best thing to do.
But he barely knows.
You're broke. And
Right.
you're buying.
But
a
yeah, but that's the
stove.
thing is he doesn't know.
but I
He
feel
doesn't have
like-
any he doesn't know.
I feel like it was an
I feel
irresponsible
like he's really good
decision.
in, like he's really into character. Like you said, I feel like he really gives me that sense of immaturity.
Yeah.
and even
Definitely.
more there. I
Yeah.
feel like it was more like he was so excited,
Just like
a
an
little
impulsive,
kid.
like an
He
impulsive
doesn't know
thing.
what to do.
He's
And
got
that's
something.
what I feel
Yeah,
like.
because he
And I
doesn't
felt
have
like
the
that's
guidance.
his
And
character.
Yeah,
And
definitely,
it
definitely.
does seem like on the show, like Ben's how to make it is making it within the business, but it seems like Cam's how to make it naked is becoming a man. Really, is what it comes down to.
I think so. I think so
or
too.
we'll see a lot of that this season.
I think this kind of shows also just how good the show is, because just that closing scene of like him walking off with the stove has got us talking about
Let's get to that. So Rachel and Domingo, they have the smoking conversation, awkward scene where they begin to get it on, and then we zip out. She's not naked yet. Not yet. We move forward. The Rasta Monsta scene. Do you want to sum up the Rasta Monsta scene?
Gosh, the Rasta Monsta scene.
Explain what it was.
The fire and everything. Yeah. So he's supposed to be skateboarding for Rene so that they can YouTube or live stream.
They want a viral hit.
Right, so that they can get 1 million people following. Because he too, Rene also, although he's older, he's the older uncle, he's trying to make it too, just like his nephew.
He's trying to make it not doing it the wrong way.
Do it legally, yeah. So he has, what's his name?
Wilfredo Gomez. You don't know?
I like to call him future husband. So he has Wilfredo about to, practically commit suicide, and off this ramp do the craziest skateboarding trick in the world with fire.
Yeah.
And someone steps out from amongst the crowd and starts, creating a ruckus, saying that this is like a ridiculous idea. So then he lights a shirt on fire and attacks the guy, and then winds up lighting the ramp on fire as well.
Which I thought was going to turn into like an even more spectacular
YouTube
YouTube
jump
scene.
Over someone.
Yeah,
that's what I was hoping.
Maybe in the next episodes, then someone filmed it.
Maybe they were filming it, so maybe they'll edit it the right way, and it'll turn out.
Maybe it'll turn out. He'll get better.
I was thinking it would turn into something negative, but then like all of a sudden it'd be this viral thing. Like,
I think that's what's gonna happen.
And in that scene, we also saw, Debbie is dating Rene. And Debbie is, she's got a daughter. We talked about the daughter. Mm-hmm. Well, the daughter decided she wasn't as clean cut as we thought. What happened, you guys?
We catch them, she was riding my future husband?
Yes. In the Rasta Monsta van.
I'm offended.
It was weird. I was telling Kelly, because she's got the contact with Wilfredo. I'm like, we got to get him to do this show at some point. But she just said 2 times some really nice stuff that I think you fast forward to this part of the video or the iTunes, we're set. Okay.
I know.
Go ahead,
tweet it to him.
Spicy Maricela. Okay. Rachel and Domingo, they get it on. Okay. What's funny? She wants to sneak out originally. Did you guys follow that?
Yeah, she keeps doing that.
She wanted to sneak out, but as soon as you talk about validation and what Cam's doing for her. Rachel seems so crazy in the head right now because she was gonna go out, sneak away, do that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the moment Domingo was like, let's go have breakfast, she was like in love with him, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Was I the only one who saw? Like I was confused as what was going on.
I feel like she's not used to being asked to stay.
Yeah. I felt like she had to sneak out.
Oh, she was going to her old role. Like,
maybe. That's just like, her comfort zone, so that she doesn't get rejected. She leaves before they tell her to go.
Yeah.
And so as she's creeping out, he's like, where are you going? Oh, you want me to stay? Really? Okay. And so she got excited.
She changed so quick. It was the funniest thing. I thought she jumped right back on the bed.
I just think she needs a lot of attention right now.
Well, and we don't know anything about her, like if she has family. Like they've never exposed any of that. We don't know if she has family. We know she dated Ben, and we know she dated Darren.
We know she has great boobs.
And
she does have great boobs.
Yeah, she does.
She really does have great boobs.
She was killing it.
Ronnie, what do we think about that?
No,
glad the girls.
I was a little. For one, I didn't know she was at that level in her career because you said she'd been there for a long time.
Yeah,
I was surprised. I was really surprised to see that. Actually,
now the other girl had to do that, although you didn't really see the front of her, but she was doing some stuff. Mm-hmm. But we don't really know that actress as much, the Julia character.
Right.
But Lake Bell, like everyone knows Lake Bell to some degree.
It was HBO.
I was just shocked, and it's even more cool to the show if she just did it because she said, you know what, it fits in the show. Like that would be kind of interesting if that's why why did she do it? I don't know. It's just funny to me. All right.
For the art.
Okay.
she was taking her career to the next level.
Yeah.
And maybe she just got them done and she was proud.
Yeah.
But if they were all natural, then she's even more like
Yeah.
Show them off.
Let's see. Okay. Oh, so they, Ben and Cam do decide to do the artwork for the kid, the rich kids. The kids don't like it. They want them to throw it out or whatnot.
Those kids were so cute.
Yeah,
they were.
Those kids really exist in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Were we not all hating
Somebody
on
owns
that?
those children.
I wasn't though.
Yeah.
I'm at the point in my life where I've been through a lot of stresses to kind of make it in America, whatnot, and the bad and the good. But I actually am at that point where I can care less if anyone makes it easy. Like if somebody swoops in tomorrow and becomes the next Kardashian girl because she has money and access or whatever, like I'm either gonna not like her because she's her. I don't care that anyone gets it easy because there's a quote, and this is why you guys gotta dive into the show. on season 1, Kelly will, co-sign here. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about getting rich slow and enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So
Yeah.
I don't care that, I didn't have a problem with the rich kids. I don't care. Let them be rich. That is their lives. I got a great life, and my struggles are fun. And I'm not saying I've only struggled. I've had some success too. Like, it's good.
But well, I want to interrupt because this is something that my lovely friend Courtney told me. That little girl, Ceci, with the blue hair, she's a real life blogger. She's 14 years old.
Wow.
And she has
the entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur. She's 14 years old, and she's a real blogger. And she's come out in Vogue and everything. Her name's Tavi.
Wow.
So How to Make It in America, here we have this little 14-year-old.
That's why I said it's like a walking blog because they've had Karma Loop on their site. Everything they do the pop-up shop. It's very new, or I don't know if it's new, but it's like they make sure that they hit everything and make it authentic. So.
Yeah, and it's authentic because that's how she really dresses.
So there you go.
If you go on her blog, that's how she really dresses.
That's so cool little funky style.
So there was more
she was a great character
to it than just those two little rich kids.
That's great.
She is in the fashion world for real, and she's definitely making it.
Ben's what we're gonna finish this wrap up here. Ben is working on the shirts, and he gets a call from Andy. Now, Andy was the first guy who was interested in being a buyer for them. They've always been conflicted because Andy doesn't have the connection, so to speak. But Nancy, I can never remember her last name, Ruttenberg, whatever. She has the connections. So that's a thing that I think all of us could relate to in all of our journeys or whatever is, do you go the legitimate route because that's where everyone wants to be, or do you go start small and go with the team? It seems like right now we don't have an answer what Ben's going to do, but he seems to not care about Andy. But Andy is not going to give up. It's right.
That's what it looks like.
I'm a little confused. Kelly and Ronnie, since you guys, what's up? Can you give me the lowdown on Andy?
He's just somebody that they barely met, and he's locking and loading, and he wants to take them to the next level. But guess what? He's nobody.
Well, they did the little pop-up shop. So, what was it, last episode before last?
Episode 1.
Yeah, they did a little pop-up shop. Andy showed up, and his dad has been in the fashion industry. They make uniforms.
Okay.
They manufacture uniforms. So he wants to break out on his own, and he really likes the line, so he wants to use this as his stepping stone.
But is he does he have money? Is he an investor? Can he invest?
He works for the company, his dad's company. So he does the uniform buys, right? So he does it in the uniform industry, not necessarily the fashion, but he wants to move over to that.
He wants the cool nugget. His office is in Midtown. He wants to be in the Lower East Side. He wants to have the hot receptionist. He wants all that. And it kind of irks me a little bit because I've always, at least just what I try to do, I try to take each decision as okay, let's make a good decision. Mm-hmm. You don't always have to go to what's hot and go be a groupie with everyone else. Now, I'm probably going on a whole nother page, but the Nancy idea is probably the best route. But I don't think, if you got some guy that's passionate, I don't know, where do you guys go? What choice would you guys have made?
That's really tough because Andy will bust his butt, and I believe it. He will work his fingers to the bone in order to make sure that these guys succeed because he believes in their dream too. Nancy's going to run them around a little bit, make them start off making high school T-shirts, probably walk the dog a couple times, babysit.
Which is also
She's gonna put them through the ringer.
Which is also okay.
Right, because everybody has a pledge process.
Which I guess this is the big, because I think my heart wants to say go with Andy because he's, build your team. That's an exciting thing to me.
Definitely.
But you're right.
It's almost like in the entertainment industry for actors or whatever artists, if you're a dancer, if you're an actor, musicians, you go with the bigger agency that has millions of other clients, then you're just, this small little pea.
Yeah.
Or do you go with the smaller agency that's really going to work hard for you, but nobody knows them?
Yeah.
But is Andy, what does Andy want to do? Does he want to be a part of the business?
He wants to be the buyer for them. He wants to put them in stores. He wants to be their rep to put them in Barney's.
So not a buyer, a rep.
I'm sorry. He wants to rep them.
That's what I was going to say. They can work with both of them. Nancy's a buyer.
And there's a conflict, though.
Else,
he's not having
No, he wants to be what Nancy is for them. That's what he wants to be.
He is a buyer, too.
Yeah, he's a buyer, too, but he's not in her world. But he wants to rep them. So he wants to be the one to put them in
And I think Cam has a
stores.
real situation with that because Lulu said, I never heard of Andy. And when Cam hears Lulu, who's all knowing, that's a big influence because Cam is I don't know, Ben, we should go with Nancy. We got to go with Miss Nancy. He called her Miss Nancy last episode.
I think if there's no contract signed,
but
work with them both until
because it's only if it's exclusive. Do you get
but
what
I think they only have a certain amount of samples. They only had, so they only had whatever their number was. That's all they could afford to make. So they would rather give them to her.
Got
versus leave them with
So
him.
instead of buying
That
the
was kind of what
stove,
it
he
was.
should have bought some more samples.
Yeah, they
Got
should
it.
have made some
Just a
more.
thought.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna try to make more money. That's how the show goes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they're trying to figure out because they don't even really know either how it all really works and if they can use more than one person or
Nancy's
what the
going-
Yeah,
what the
because
rules
I don't
are.
think in real life that would
yeah,
be
let's get to the Nancy part real quick. Before we do that, it's Cam looking at the apartment. What do we think about the apartment? And I'm gonna just jump in real quick. I loved the end of that scene where he just goes outside in the window.
Oh, I do too.
I am a product of like I choose my dream over anything else a lot of times, and so I have had the I think he's 28 on the show. I've had the being 28 years old, having to leave my apartment and go live at my parents' house. I am that guy. So when I saw that and I saw how proud he was, like I literally want to interview Victor Razzouk and like get where he got that influence because it was spot on. That's how you feel. That's how you feel when
when
you
he was
get
taking
top of the
pictures
world.
and he was like out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let me just tell you this. I live in downtown LA, Boyle Heights, circa East
Yeah.
LA. I mean, you can
Depends
say
who
so
you
many
talk
names.
to.
Yeah, exactly. Depends who I talk to. But I got the place just because I have this dope view of downtown. And like, it just, seeing him, like, yeah, I get to look at the river, like, I get to look
Yeah,
at
but-
downtown, even though I don't have the loft like the rest of the
I
cool
love
people in
it. His,
downtown.
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
apartment's cool though, and you
I
can't
get
put a
a
price
dope
on
view.
motivation.
Yeah.
You cannot put a.
No.
Do you have a motivational story like that? Because I know you have been through some stuff
He
too.
knows.
Maybe we'll wait till like episode 3 here and we'll get into it. Let's just go to the meat and potatoes at the end of the show so we could get to a commercial here. A lot of other couple things happen. Oh, we're gonna see that Debbie's daughter is gonna. She's going to need to like pay Rene back in some weird way because he knows about the sex, right? Yeah. The
Yeah,
sex.
he's gonna keep manipulating. He's gonna keep manipulating that situation as long as he can,
Okay, so
which
we'll
is very smart.
We'll see about that. We find out that the rich kids love the shirt, and so that's cool. The little blogger girl. She's got a crazy personality. And then we're pretty much done, and we're looking at scenes from the next. The biggest fascinating thing is that Miss Nancy is probably going to be with Ben, or like I don't know, like is he gonna help her career? Is she gonna help his career, or are they gonna be together? What? That's what we're looking at.
I think he's supposed to be her boy toy.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I think
Yeah.
she's gonna be
Okay,
his
cool.
boy toy.
As long as she can.
We'll do predictions in 1 second. I wanted to go up real quick on this computer. We'll do predictions. We're gonna go to commercial, but I wanted to leave you guys. Every time I watch this show, there's a great quote. I don't know if this one had as good as the others. Andy said, "I believe we make our own luck." So that was the quote that hit me when I watched the show. I mean, there's like 3 quotes an episode, so that was the one that motivated me and inspired me. I'm loving this. The How to Make It in America Afterbuzz. We're having a good time. So let's do a commercial and we'll wrap it up with some predictions and everything else.
Want to find out what the Afterbuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why Afterbuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your Afterbuzz on.
Hello. I need a dollar. I need a dollar. No, I'm still singing that song no matter what song it plays. Okay, so listen, we are back. The How to Make It in America Afterbuzz.
Yes, sir.
So there's just so much to talk about. Oh.
Your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
If I didn't know what to talk about, our guy in the booth, DJ Jesse Janity, he makes it happen. One time, congratulations to DJ Jesse Janity for helping us. He knows that I've been wanting to do this show for a little while. Let's go to predictions. Madi.
I think there's gonna be some drama. I think Rachel sleeping with friends in the same crew.
Okay,
I think that's gonna,
break that down. It's character Ben.
So Rachel originally was sleeping with Ben.
Well, they were together.
They were together, and now she's dabbling over like with Domingo because he's providing, I guess, some like great weed.
Yeah.
And so whatever
Great.
it's doing, it has her getting horny, and
Yeah.
she's sleeping with him
Yeah.
now, and she's starting to get the hots for him and get a little bit serious on him. And we already know she's kind of clingy. So I think that it's going to turn into a little love affair, and there's going to be some drama.
Well, you're definitely going to see a
friends.
scene between her and Ben, like conflicting.
Or Domingo
Don't you think?
and Ben too.
Because
Yeah.
anytime that
yeah.
Ben pulls that little leash of wanting her back, she's gonna jump on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
So
I think
she's
Domingo's going to start to get butthurt.
true. Yeah. We don't know much about Domingo. He's such a fun guy on the show. He is like the Kid Cudi character to a degree. I mean, I don't want to say it's the same person, but in season 1, he's just fun. He like had no worry in the world. He still has no worry in the world. So it's kind of like, are we going to see him get emotional, like you say? Like, is he going to catch the feelings?
I'm curious to see where they're going to go with him. I am curious.
Yeah.
To see.
What do you guys think about his acting? This is Kid Cudi, you know.
I was just going to comment on
Let's
that.
go, Mari. Mari, if you guys want to plug in online, or if you're in Los Angeles, 102.3 KJLH radio.
Saturday nights, 8 p.m. to 12 midnight. And you can also follow me on Twitter at spicy_Mari.
And Mari's very plugged. We brought Mari in to co-host the show because she's plugged into music too. She was interviewing the great Dougie Fresh last night. So this was like less than 24 hours ago. So what did we think about Kid Cudi, his acting, and just his music career and everything?
Oh, well, we already know his music career is amazing. When you start producing songs for Kanye, you're on.
Right.
And so now he's dabbled over into the acting world, which most people in the music industry don't do very well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Who would you say do?
That cross over very well.
Yeah, like is it LL Cool J? Who do you like? I mean,
as far as actors are concerned,
isn't 50 Cent good? Or
He's
what do you
pretty
think?
good. He's pretty
He's
good.
okay.
There's nobody who has impressed me. There's nobody who's
Queen
impressed
Latifah?
me.
No.
Queen Latifah has always done both.
I don't know.
I feel like she's always juggled both. Queen
I
Latifah has
promote
her
Queen
hands
Latifah.
in
Nice.
everything.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a real display of just A-list actor transition from a musician.
So he's doing okay.
I think Kid Cudi is doing good. I believe him.
Yeah.
I was gonna applaud
Jamie
him. I
Foxx
believe
did
him.
opposite.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx is master of all.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he does everything.
And I think you guys, I mean, when you're going to be a musician and that's where you start, even if you were an actor, because a lot of them, they'll do the story, and I don't disrespect them, whatever, but it's the story of, well, I was an actor first and you just knew me from music. That's okay too. I think the key is if you get put out as music first, just be very selective with your roles. That's the only thing, because the public image is going to kind of look at you in one way. So
and I want you to take the craft seriously.
Yeah.
Like really train.
Are you an actress yourself?
I act as well. But
what's more than a triple threat? She does it all.
I mean, I take it very seriously because I want you to really get into the role. I want to see emotions behind your eyes. I want to believe your character. And so if you don't take it seriously and do your research and really go there emotionally and make yourself vulnerable, I'm not going to really be able to follow you and believe you.
Right.
And I think Kid Cudi's doing good.
Speaking of following, I'm following the hashtag HowToMakeIt, which is on Twitter right
He's
now.
our social media guru. And you guys, real quick before he says what he's going to say, the How to Make It in America Twitter and Facebook and all that has actually done really, really well. How to Make It in America premiered on October 2nd, and it was a How to Make It in America hashtag, which actually started off because of the show, obviously. But as that sat for about a day and a half, it became How to Make It in America, and people actually were just writing what it takes to make it in America, and it became a life of its own. And again, I'm so passionate about this show, but I don't know if it's going to make season 3. We're hoping, I feel good about it, but it's just cool to see how they get involved with like the social media aspect. Facebook, they released a mixtape.
It was very good.
Which was really good.
Yeah,
the music was insane. What's the song I really
Avicii
like?
Levels.
I wish it wasn't called. I wish it was like Avicil, which is how it's written. But anyways, and the music's really great. Anyways, what are they saying on?
They're saying Kid
It?
Cudi's acting season 2 is greater than season 1. Props to him.
Okay.
That means he's been training.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just
Trying
in
to take it
general,
seriously.
season.
I wonder who he's working with. Acting coaches. I don't know. Just wondering. Okay. we want to get an acting coach in here very soon. So just that's why I said that. Okay.
Definitely. And just season 2 in general is becoming a lot better than season 1. So I think it's growing.
Why didn't you look at the Twitter of Brian Greenberg and Lake Bell has a Twitter?
Well, Brian Greenberg had just tweeted out, watch new episode. So
okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're real cutting edge with that because they'll make sure that they do live tweets on the replay shows. So
yeah, because he just did his on Monday, or
last
he did
week.
his last week.
So after buzzers, if you guys are tweeting with us, please make sure you hashtag HBO and Brian Greenberg and all that good stuff.
Brian,
Well,
do you know
I
anything
tweeted
about his
it
album?
and I tagged it, and I tagged Wilfredo too, and he retweeted it. So you can look on his
Wait a
page,
minute.
and he
All right.
retweeted it.
For people that don't know hashtags and all that, what does that mean? So Wilfredo Gomez everyone knows who he is.
His Twitter handle, so he can get some more followers,
Do
is
it.
at Wilfredo Gomez NY.
Wait,
that's
where's my
it.
There we go.
No, not phone number. Just Twitter handle.
That's his
I do
Twitter.
it from my iPhone.
Yeah.
But if you go to my Twitter, I just tweeted that I was going to be on the show today, and I tagged the Twitter handle for the show and his, and I hashtagged How to Make It in America. So that way, hopefully, it'll come up on all those places. But he also retweeted, so hopefully that'll generate some more buzz for this specific show.
I feel so confident. Let me tell you guys, for the new people that are joining AfterBuzz, AfterBuzz just did a live broadcast for Breaking Bad at the John Lovitz Podcast Theater. This is huge right here. So really, if you guys are watching us on Ustream or on the iTunes, and I know all of us have our group of followers or whatnot, please make this viral for us. And I would love to see, the Brian Greenberg people and all them be part of the show. I guess we are done. Thank you to DJ Jesse Janity, who is rocking it. Also Phil Svitek, and of course the creators, Kevin Undergaro and the great Maria Menounos, who in my opinion is the new Oprah. She's on her way. She's hitting all angles. How to Make It in America, the AfterBuzz, Spicy Marty, Kelly,
Thank you for having me.
Vanessa, Jesse, and Ronnie, and AfterBuzz TV.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterbuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later! Thank you.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.